Women's soccer makes program history.
And football's on a win streak.
All this and more on the Penguin Rundown.
Welcome into the Penguin Rundown. I'm Cameron Stubbs, alongside my partner in crime, John Ostapowitz. And John, what a weekend for YSU Athletics. Football, soccer, bowling, tennis, we had everything. What can you tell us about this Halloween weekend?
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. When you look at the soccer team, they have been absolutely phenomenal in this later half of the season, going 5-1, squeezing into the quarterfinals and knocking off Wright State as well and making it to the semifinals to really have an opportunity to go to the finals. But football as well are on a win streak of their own. Can you tell me a little bit about them as well?
Yeah, big playoff implications for both the soccer and football team. But with football, let's get started with the football team, as they are now on a winning streak after being victorious in 3 straight games, including October 29th against South Dakota. YSU got on the board first on its opening drive following a 2-yard run by senior Jaleel McLaughlin, but South Dakota responded in less than 3 minutes with its own scoring rush from 15 yards out. The Penguins reclaimed the lead with a 52-yard field goal from senior Colt McFadden, marking the longest kick since the school record 56-yard kick made in 2003. With the score tied at 10, junior Mitch Davidson finished off a 75-yard drive with a 42-yard pass to junior Bryce Oliver, which started a span of 28 unanswered points for YSU, including a 13-play, 90-yard scoring drive. The Penguins came out on top 45-24. McLaughlin rushed for over 100 yards for the 7th time this season with 119 along with 2 touchdowns. Davidson finished the game with 242 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. 122 of those yards went to Oliver, who also brought in 2 of Davidson's scoring passes. Defensively, senior Caleb Burr led the team with 10 total tackles, while sophomore Dylan Woodkey brought terror to the line with 5 tackles, including 2 sacks. The football team looks to make a playoff push as it travels to Illinois State November 5th to take on the Redbirds at 3 p.m. The game can be listened to on 570 WKBN or watched on ESPN+.
The Youngstown State University women's soccer team secured their first playoff spot since 2014 with a win last Wednesday against Robert Morris University, 3-1. Heading into the quarterfinals, senior Abriana Rondon was named All-Horizon League second team, and freshman Taylor Berry was named to the Horizon League All-Freshman team October 28th. On October 30th, the number 5 ranked Penguins traveled to Alumni Field in Dayton, Ohio to take on Wright State University for the 2nd time this season. The first time around, the Raiders shut out the Penguins 2-0 September 18th. The Penguins took a commanding first-half lead, beating Wright State 2-1 in the quarterfinals. The offensive effort for Youngstown State was accompanied by Berry, who secured the win for the Penguins with a 2-goal performance. And the net junior Brooklyn Kirkpatrick also contributed to the win by collecting 6 saves. With the win, the Penguins advanced to the Horizon League Championship semifinals for the first time in program history. Youngstown State is set to play number 2 ranked Purdue University Fort Wayne tomorrow night, as kickoff is set for 5 p.m. in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. To watch the game, check out ESPN+.
Last weekend, the YSU women's bowling team competed in the Desi Strong Classic in Long Island, New York. It was a historic performance for the Penguins as they picked up 12 head-to-head wins over the weekend, setting a new school record for total wins in a single tournament. The Penguins made it to the championship round against Southland bowling rival Louisiana Tech. It was a back-and-forth best-of-7 series, but an untimely 7-10 split in the 9th frame would prove to be the difference, as YSU lost to Louisiana Tech 227-222 and were named runner-ups in the competition. The Penguins will have the weekend off and will be back in action next weekend to compete in the Motive Lady Jack Classic in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
It was a Halloween weekend to remember as the cross-country teams competed Saturday in the Horizon League Championships up in Rochester, Michigan, and received many accomplishments. The men started off this impressive feat by winning the championship with 29 team points, 25 points ahead of the runner-up IUPUI. This their first conference title since 2018, as 3 of the men were in the top 5. Senior Chase Easterling finished in second place in the 8K at 24 minutes and 45.3 seconds. seconds behind Easterling is third with junior Ryan Meadows with a 24-minute and 46.7 time, while Hunter Christopher was second behind. Tyler Clark then finished ninth at 25:12 before Ty Kuhn wrapped up the point total at 25:21. The women's side had just as much excitement as the ladies hauled in 87 points to finish third. Senior Morgan Cole made history on the day by earning the individual conference title and becoming the first woman in school history to accomplish such a feat. She clocked in at 21:25 in the 6K and an impressive 30 seconds ahead of the runner-up sophomore Carly Hall as she got in the top 10 with a 9th place finish of 22:16. Both teams will now take this huge momentum into the NCAA Great Lakes Regional Championships, which is set for Friday, November 11th in Terre Haute, Indiana. For more information on the event, go to ysusports.com. For more about the cross-country team season, we're sending it off to Caleb and Bryce at the round table.
Thank you very much. Welcome into the roundtable this week. I'm Caleb Ellison, and joining me today is Bryce Noel. And Bryce, we have some pretty exciting news to talk about. This past weekend, the Horizon League Cross Country Championship meet took place, and it came out pretty well for YSU.
Yeah, speaking pretty well. The men's side has been absolutely breathtaking here, claiming the Horizon League Championship there. And for the women also, they finished third, not quite in first. But there's one runner that did finish first, though, now senior Morgan Cole.
Absolutely. But talking about the men's team, though, finally being able to take first place again when it comes to the Horizon League tournament. Looking back at the past 5 years or so, 2018 is the last time they won the championship. And the past 2 years, they were runner-ups to IUPUI. And so this year, finally being able to step up and take first place. And I think a big part of that came from some guys that really stepped up. Senior Chase Easterling, he finished second place overall at the meet, and then right behind him were juniors Ryan Meadows and Hunter Christopher. They finished top 5. They were all named to all-league first team, so really great performances from these guys.
Absolutely, along with those performances, you have one more runner rounding out that top 10, and that is Tyler Clark. Now, Tyler Clark, not very mentioned enough, but he is also very dominant there with the depth and with all the runners coming up, with underclassmen coming up to the seniors. And with that depth, with the departure last season of Sean Peterson, yeah, Easterling's been definitely stepping up there. Meadows coming up, Christopher, Clark, and all those guys.
Right, you talk about that depth. A great example of that is you look back at the season, Nike Horizon League Runners of the Week. We had 3 different Penguins win that award throughout the course of the season. We talked about Christopher and Easterling, but also a sophomore here, William Hanchowski. So having young talent step up there, and also on the other side of Runners of the Week is from the women's team. We talked about her dominant performance a little bit earlier. Senior Morgan Cole, who won the award 3 times throughout the course of the season. So that just really showed how dependable she was, for the YSU team.
Yeah, and once again, she had a dominant performance here in the Horizon League Championships, becoming the only woman in YSU program history to win that Horizon League title, running the 21 minutes and 25.5 seconds in the 6K. But it's not only just that. There's also very great performances there these past couple of races as well. At the Slippery Rock Invitational, running the 21:21.8. And same thing there at the Penn State National Open. Just absolutely just a dominant force on this team. Unfortunately, she graduates this upcoming spring, and it definitely brings up the younger women to trying to step into her shoes coming next fall and spring.
Absolutely. Having Cole for that leadership, for that, role model position on the team, it's really beneficial. And so coming up now, they just won the conference championship. They have regionals coming up, and then before we know it, it's the indoor track and field season.
Absolutely. Speaking of that NCAA Great Lakes Regional, that is coming up here November 11th in Terre Haute, Indiana. And you can catch all that up here on YSUsports.com. And that will wrap it up here at the round table. I'm Bryce Noel.
I'm Caleb Ellison.
And once again, see you next week, Penguin Nation, and back to John and Cameron in the studio.
Thanks, Caleb and Bryce. The volleyball team had a very successful Halloween weekend as they defeated not one but 2 Horizon League teams to begin their road trip. Not to mention, both matches were completed in 5 sets. The most recent match against IUPUI became YSU's 10th 5-set match of the season, so nearly half of all total matches played have gone to play in 5. In their match against Purdue Fort Wayne last Friday, the Penguins were inconsistent, dominating one set, then failing to reach 13 points in the next. Nonetheless, it came down to the 5th set, where YSU came out on top 15-8. Full set matches do not come without the help of great showings as sophomore Paula Gershing and senior Josie Borum added striking performances to their season. Gershing posted a double-double of 26 kills and 11 digs, while Borum earned yet another triple-double with 16 kills, 26 assists, and 10 digs. Offensively, freshman Abby Householder followed Borum with 12 kills, and sophomore Isabel Schaefbauer tied Borum in assists with 26. Defensively, junior Diane Malave contributed with 4 of YSU's 5 blocks, while senior libero Isidore Sizic led the team in digs with 24. The team could only have one night's rest before taking on IUPUI in the jungle the following day. As mentioned earlier, this one saw the Penguins and Jaguars go to 5 sets. YSU came in testing their stamina as the first set went to 35 points in IUPUI's favor. Despite losing the first, the team kept the match close up until the 5th, where they earned the victory, this time 15-9. Outstanding performances were in order once again, as Gershing posted 32 kills, tying YSU's single-season record with 513, while adding 17 digs for another double-double. Along with her, Householder was also produced double-double with 13 kills and 10 digs. Borum became the first athlete in program history to reach 20 kills and 20 digs in a match, as she earned 20 kills and 26 assists against the Jaguars. Schaefbauer assisted on half the team's kills with 36, and Sizic posted 19 digs in a remarkable 6 aces. The volleyball team continued their road trip as they took on Cleveland State last night, fighting for the 6th and final spot in the playoffs. For results on this match, check out YSUsports.com. This Friday, the women will finish their road trip in Moon Township, PA, against Robert Morris before heading home for the last matches of the 2022 season.
The swim and dive team was back in action this past weekend as they traveled to Niagara Falls, New York, to take on both St. Francis and Niagara at the Oxy Aquatic Center. Freshman standout James Slezer won 3 individual events during the meet for the Gwens as he would finish first in the 100 and 200 breaststroke. He also earned the victory in the 200 IM, and he would swim a 1 minute and 57.20 seconds. Junior Cody Till won both the 3-meter and 1-meter dice. His score of 325.13 in the 3-meter dive event would become a school record. Sophomore Aleska Renanovic and junior Gavin Webb also had multiple individual event victories. Renanovic claimed first in the 100 and 200 fly. Webb finished first in the 100 and 500 freestyle. For the women, freshman Miriam Fraz took first in the 500 and 1,000 freestyle. Her 1,000 freestyle of 10 minutes and 31 seconds is the 5th fastest in program history. Freshman Anna Koziska earned the victory in the 100 back, in which she swam a 59.3 seconds. The teams will be back in action on Saturday, November 5th, as they will host Cleveland State at the Beagley Natatorium in their only home swimming and diving meet of the season. The meet will begin with diving events at 9 a.m. and swimming will commence at 11 a.m. For live updates throughout the meet, you can check out YSUsports.com.
This past weekend, the women's tennis team competed in the indoor Toledo Rocket Invite hosted by Toledo University. The women competed against Toledo as well as Bowling Green and Cleveland State. At the Invite, the team had an outstanding showing as the women won 5 singles and 2 doubles. The teams had 2 women that finished twice, graduate student Cecilia Rosas and sophomore Julia Marco. Senior Jessica Stanmore also picked up 1 win for the ladies. Rosas and Marco were able to defeat Bethany Huch and Selma Tunzi of Cleveland State, 6-4. Marco was able to defeat Maru Pope of Bowling Green 6-3 and 6-3. Stanmore defeated Hannah Newman of Bowling Green 6-2 and 6-3. Marco beat Therese Vivier of CSU 2-6, 6-2, and 10-6. The next time the team will be back in action will be November 11th and 13th at the CSUN Fall Invitational in Northridge, California.
The men's tennis team competed in the Viking Invitational hosted by Cleveland State University on October 28th through the 30th. In singles matches, were led by senior Laurentu Montecescu as he made it to the quarterfinals, defeating two Vikings until he himself was slain by the Vikings in the quarterfinals. Junior David Alvarez Moreno advanced to the quarterfinals, as well as he was able to pick up two victories as sophomore Nathan Favier and Harry Fausas both secured one victory apiece. In doubles matches, it saw teams of senior Will Everett and Moreno, as well as Montecescu and Favier, nabbing one apiece. The tennis team will finish its fall season back in Cleveland as they will participate in the Green and White Invitational this weekend, hosted by Cleveland State on November 5th and 6th. Stay up to date with all of the matches on YSUsports.com.
Now let's send it over to Noah Ricks for this week's Penguin Play of the Week.
Thanks, guys. Our Penguin Play of the Week belongs to Bryce Oliver. He had a 42-yard touchdown catch on Saturday against South Dakota on his way towards a 7-catch game for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. This is his first of 2 touchdowns, just catching the bomb from Mitch Davidson towards the end zone. And let's look at this sideline angle. Catching the bomb and just getting it over the South Dakota defender down the sideline for pay dirt. And congratulations to Bryce Oliver for our Penguin Play of the Week. Guys, back over to you.
Thanks, Noah. That is all the time we have for today. Make sure you follow us on social media at Penguin Rundown 1 on Instagram and Twitter. And make sure to visit YSUsports.com for more highlights and stats. I'm Cameron Stubbs.
And I'm John Ostapowicz.
And we'll see you next week, Penguin Nation.